Okay. Rereading because I read until Joshua 22, 23, but when I was uploading the file, I deleted it and it couldn't upload because I'm a moron. So reading it again from Joshua 19. The second lot came out for the tribe of Simeon according to his clans. The inheritance lay within the territory of Judah. It included Beersheba, Ursheba, Moudah, Hazar, Shual, Baal-Mezerm, Autolad, Bet-Hu, Hurman, Ziklag, Bet-Harkabot, Hazan Shush, Bet-Labaot, and Sharuhen, 13 towns and their villages. Ain Rimon, Eter and Ashan, 4 towns and their villages, and all the villages around these towns, Asaros, Bawan, Bir, Ramah, and the Negev. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the Simeonites according to its clans. The inheritance of the Simeonites was taken from the share of Judah because Judah's portion was more than they needed. So the Simeonites received their inheritance within the territory of Judah. Allotment for Zebulun. The third lot came up from Zebulun according to its clans. The boundary of their inheritance went as far as Sarit. Going west, it ran to Maralach, touched Dabaset, and extended to the ravine near Jokneam. It turned east from Sarit toward the sunrise to territory of Kislot Tabor and went on to Daberat and up to Japhia. Then it continued eastward to Gad Haper and Ed Kazin. It came out at Rimon and turned toward Neach. There the boundary went around the north to Hanot and ended at the valley of Ibtach El. Included were Katat, Nahalal, Shimron, Idaach, and Bethlehem. There were 12 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of Zebulun according to his clans. Allotment for Iskar. The fourth lot came out of Iskar according to his clans. Their territory included Jezreel, Kesuot, Shunem, Ephraim, Shion, Anaharat, Kabit, Kishon, Bes, Remet, En-Ganim, En-Hadach, and Bet-Bezeres. The boundary touched Tabor, Shachazamar, and Bet-Shames, and ended at the Jordan. There were 16 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Issachar according to its clans. Allotment for Asher. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of Asher according to its clans. The territory included Helkat, Hali, Beten, Akshaph, Awamelech, Amat, and Mishal. On the west, the boundary touched Carmel and Shihor Lebnat. It then turned east toward Bet Dragon, touched Zebulun and the valley of Ibtach-E, and went north to Bet Emek and Neiel, passing Kabun on the left. It went to Abdon, Rehob, Hamon, and Kanach, as far as Greater Sidon. The boundary then turned back toward Ramah and went to the fortified city of Tyre, turned toward Hosach, and came out at the Mediterranean Sea in the region of Akzib, Umach, Abhek, and Rehob. There were 22 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Asher according to its clans. Allotment for Naphtali. The sixth lot came out for Naphtali according to its clans. Their boundary went from Helept and the large tree in Zananim, passing Adami, Nekeb, and Jebneu to Lakum and ending at the Jordan. The boundary ran west through Asnot Tabor and came out at Hukok. It touches Zebulun on the south, Asher on the west, and the Jordan on the east. The fortified towns were Zidim, Zer Hamat, Erkat, Kinnert, Adam, Ramah Hazor, Kedesh, Edrei, En Hazor, Iron, Migdal-E, Horem, Bet-Anat, and Bet-Shemesh. There were 19 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Naphtali, according to his clans. Allotments for Dan. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of Dan, according to his clans. The territory of their inheritance included Zorah Eshtaol, Ir Shemesh, Shelabin, Aijalon, Itlach, Elon, Timnach, Ekron, Etekech, Gibeton, Baalat, Jehud, Beneberak, Gatermon, Mejarkon, and Tarkon, with the area facing Joppa. When the territory of the Danites was lost to them, they went up and attacked Leshem, took it, put it to the sword and occupied it. Then they settled in Leshem and named it Dan after their ancestor. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Dan according to his clans. Allotment for Joshua. When they had finished dividing the land into its allotted portions, the Israelites gave Joshua son of Nun inheritance among them. As the Lord had commanded, they gave him the town and asked for Timnach Sarach in the hill country of Ephraim, and he built up the town and settled there. These are territories that Eleazar, the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the head of the tribe clans of Israel assigned by lot at Shiloh in the presence of the Lord at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and so they finished dividing the land. Cities of refuge. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Tell the Israelites to designate the cities of refuge, as I instructed you, through Moses, so that anyone who kills a person accidentally and intentionally may flee there and find protection from the avenger of blood. When they flee to one of these cities, they are to stand in the entrance of the city gate and state their case before the elders of the city. Then the elders are to admit the fugitive into their city and provide a place to live among them. If the avenger of blood comes in pursuit, the elders must not surrender the fugitive, because the fugitive killed their neighbor unintentionally and without malice afterthought. They are to stay in the city until they have stood trial before the assembly, and until the death of the high priest who is serving at that time. And then they may go back to their town, to their own home in the town from which they fled. So they set apart Kedesh in Galil in the hill country of Naphtali, Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiryat Arba, this is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah, east of the Jordan, on the other side from Jericho. They designated Bezer in the wilderness, on the plateau, in the tribe of Reuben, Amot, and Gilead, in the tribe of Gad, and Goan in Bashan, in the tribe of Manasseh. Any of the Israelites or any foreigner residing among them who killed someone accidentally could flee to the designated cities and would be killed by the avenger of blood prior to standing trial before the assembly. Towns for Levites. Now the family heads of the Levites approached Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the other tribal families of Israel at Shinon in Canaan, and said to them, The Lord commanded through Moses that you give us towns to live in, with pastures for our livestock. So, as the Lord had commanded, the Israelites gave the Levites the following towns and pastures out of their inheritance. The first lot came out for the Kohathites according to their clans. The Levites, who were descendants of Aaron, the priestess, were allowed 13 towns from the tribes of Judah, Simon and Benjamin. The rest of Kohath's descendants were allotted 10 towns from the clans of the tribes of Ephraim, Dan and half of Manasseh. The descendants of Gershon were allotted 13 towns from the clan of the tribes of Issachar, Asher, and Ephraim, and the half tribe of Manasseh. Let me clean my glasses really quickly. Okay, let's keep reading. In Bashan. The descendants of Geshon were allotted 13 towns. Yeah, half tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. The descendants of Merari, according to their clans, received 12 towns from the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. So the Israelites allotted the Levites these towns and their pasture lands, as the Lord had commanded to Moses. From the tribes of Judah and Simon they allotted the following towns by name. These towns were assigned to the descendants of Aaron, who were from the Kohanite clans of the Levites, because the first lot fell to them. They gave them Kiryat Arba, that is Hebron, with its surrounding pasture land in the hill country of Judah. Arba was the forefather of Anak, but the fields and villages around the city they had given to Caleb son of Jephunneh as his possession. So the descendants of Aaron the priest they gave Hebron. To the descendants of Aaron the priest they gave to Hebron a city of refuge for one accused of murder, Libnah, Jatir, Eshtemoa, Hovan, Debir. I'm kinda curious about these cities of refuge. Google that shit. Okay. Big question though. I'll put that link, but the question is how many people would have to flee to those cities for them to be actually normal? Like, how many people are in Israel? Like, let me just. Let me check. Did the cities of refuge hut? No, I don't care about that. I fuck off. Doesn't say. That's a good question. I'll ask someone later and I'll tell you next video. Ain, Judah and Bet Shemesh, together with their pasture led 9 towns from these 2 tribes. City of Refuge, Libnah, Jah, Hovan, Debir, Ain, Judah here, whatever. And from the tribe of Benjamin they gave them Gibeon, Geba, and Anatot and Naumun together with their pasture lands 4 towns. The total number of towns from the priests, the descendants of Aaron, came to 13 together with their pasture lands. The rest, so the Kohathite clans of the Levite were allotted towns from the tribe of Ephraim. In the hill country of Ephraim they were given Shechem, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, and Gezer, Kibzaim, and Beth Horon, together with their pasture lands 4 towns. Also from the tribe of Dan they received Etekech, Gibeton, Aijavon, and Gaterimon, together with their pasture lands 4 towns. From half the tribe of Manasseh they received Tanak, and Gaterimon, together with their pasture lands 2 towns. And the rest, and All these 10 towns and their pasturelands were given to the rest of the Canaanite clans. The Levite clans and the Gershonite clans were given from the half-tribe of Manasseh. Golan in Bashan, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, and Be-Eshterach, together with the pasturelands, 2 towns. From the tribe of Issachar, Kishon, the Berat, Jarmut, and En-Ganim, together with the pasturelands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Asher, Mishal, Abdon, Helkat, and Rehob, together with the pasturelands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Naphtali, Kedesh and Gilili, a city of refuge for an accused of murder, Hamot Dor and Kartan, together with their pasturelands, 3 towns. The total number of towns of the Gershonite clans came 13 together with their pasturelands. The Merarite clans, the rest of the Levites, were given from the tribe of Zebulun, Jokneam, Kartach, Dimnach, and Nahalal, together with the pasturelands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Reuben, Bezer Shechaz, Kedemot, and Nephat, together with their pasturelands, 4 towns. From the tribe of Gad, Ramot in Gilead, the city of refuge for one accused of murder, Mahanaim, Heshbon, and Jazer, together with the pasturelands, 4 towns in all. The total number of towns allotted to the Merarite clans, who were the rest of the Levites, came to 12. The towns of the Levites in the territory held by the Israelites were 48 in all, together with their pasturelands. Each of these towns had pasturelands surrounding it. This was true for all these towns. So the Lord gave Israel all the land he had sworn to give their ancestors, and took their possession of it and settled there. The Lord gave them the rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their ancestors. Not one of their enemies withstood them. The Lord gave all their enemies into their hands. Not one of all the Lord's good promises to Israel failed. Everyone was fulfilled. Okay. Then Joshua summoned the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, and said to them, "You have done all that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded, and you have obeyed me in everything I commanded for a long time now. To this day you have not deserted your fellow Israelites, but have carried out the mission the Lord your God gave you. Now that the Lord your God has given them rest as he promised, return to your homes in the land that Moses, servant of the Lord, gave you on the other side of the Jordan. But be very careful to keep the commandment of the law that Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you, to love the Lord your God, to walk in obedience to him, to keep his commands, to hold fast to him and serve him with all your heart and with all your soul." Then Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their homes. To the half-tribe of Manasseh Moses had given land in Bashan, and to the other half of the tribe Joshua gave land on the west side of the Jordan along with their fellow Israelites. When Joshua sent them home, he blessed them, saying, "Return to your homes with your great wealth, with large herds of livestock, with silver, gold, bronze, and iron, and a great quantity of clothing, and divide the plunder from your enemies with your fellow Israelites." So the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh left the Israelites at Shinon in Canaan to return to Gilead, their own land, which they had acquired in accordance with the command of the Lord through Moses. When they came to Gelilot, near the Jordan in the land of Canaan, the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh built an imposing altar there by the Jordan. And when the Israelites heard that they had built the altar on the border of Canaan at Gelilot, near the Jordan on the Israelite side, the whole assembly of Israel gathered at Shiloh to go to war against them. So the Israelites sent Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the priest, to the land of Gilead, to Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. With him they sent 10 of the chief men, one from each of the tribes of Israel, each the head of a family division among the Israelite clans. When they went to Gilead, to Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, they said to them, the whole assembly of the Lord says, how could you break faith with the Lord of Israel like this? How could you turn away from the Lord and build yourselves an altar in rebellion to him now? Yeah, here's the war area. Was not the sin of Peor enough for us? Up to this very day, we have not cleansed ourselves from our sin, even though a plague fell on the community of the Lord. And are you now turning away from the Lord? If you rebel against the Lord today, tomorrow he will be angry with the whole community of Israel. I said in the last video, in the first take which I fucked it up, I understand their crash out, because they think they're building a monument. And it's like an understandable crash out. Like at first I was like, why are they going to avoid the first thing? But the answer is because they have this God being that if they're not loyal to him, then he just puts plague, so of course they're panicking. Community of Israel, if the land you possess is defiled, come over to the Lord's land, where the Lord's tabernacle stands, and share the land with us. But don't rebel against the Lord. The Lord or against us by building an altar for yourselves, other than the altar of the Lord our God. When Achar, son of Zerah, also unfaithful in regard to the devoted things, did not wrath came on the whole community of Israel, he was not the only one who died for his sin. Then Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh replied to their heads of their clans of Israel, the mighty one, go to the Lord, the mighty one, go to the Lord, he knows, and let Israel know, if this has been in rebellion or disobedience to the Lord, do not spare us this day, if we have built our own altar to turn away from the Lord, and to offer burnt offerings and gain offerings, or to sacrifice fellowship offerings on it, may the Lord himself call us to account. No, we did it for fear that someday your descendants might say to ours, what do you have to do with the Lord, the God of Israel? The Lord has made the Jordan a boundary between us and you. You Reubenites and Gadites, you have no share in the Lord, so your descendants might cause ours to stop fearing the God. This is why we said, let us get ready and build an altar, but not from burnt offering sacrifices. On the contrary, it will be a witness between us and you and the generations that follow, that we will worship the Lord at his sanctuary with our burnt offerings, sacrifices and fellowship offerings. Then, in the future, your descendants will not be able to say to ours, you have no share in the Lord. Okay, what's the Lord below? How long is the next one? Fucking cheap, fucking short. And this one? No, I can read them all, I think. Before 28. You have no share in the Lord. And we said, if they ever say to this to us or to our descendants, we will take answer. Wait, I have to do my backlog for tomorrow, 1 second.